Think about how you've used your learning. Consider the value of listening. Think about what happens to us.
Just making sure that everything is working. If you can hear me on Zoom, if you pop something in the chat just to say that you can, that would be great. Perfect. Thank you, Paige. Okay, so if you are joining me on Zoom, you can have your camera on or off. I don't mind. Oh, someone's asking for the Zoom link. 1 second. I need to go into my emails, I think. So the Zoom link, I've got someone asking on Facebook where the Zoom link is. It should be in the email that you got about an hour ago. I will just find it and post it in the chat on Facebook for you. There. Copy. Paste. I'll put a hashtag at the end. Sorry about that. It should still work. Yeah. Okay, should be able to get rid of that now.
Yay!
Okay, right, let's just get rid of everything on my screen that I don't need and find everything that I do need. Don't need that. Okay, I think we're there. Excellent. Okay, so good evening and hello to everybody. If you are, let's just see if I can, there we go. Perfect. If you are joining me on Facebook, hello, it's lovely to see you. You are over there on my screen, so if I'm looking that way for the chat there, then that's fine. Good evening to everybody on Zoom as well. If you need to ask a question or you want to ask a question, there is a hands up button. I believe it's in the reactions button on the bottom of your screen somewhere. Feel free to type things in the chat if you want to. Be aware that if you are speaking, you will be live streamed to Facebook. So just be aware that your face will appear on there. So if you don't want that to happen, don't speak and just type it in the chat instead. Okay, so this evening we are going to be looking at priorities, what you can do to take a look at where you are right now and what you can do differently to make some changes. And then in our next training, we will be focusing on actually making that happen. And we will be doing some magic to get the universe to help you to manifest those things that you want for you and with you. So please make sure that you come along on New Year's Eve. If you can't make it on New Year's Eve, then please make sure that you watch the replay. It will still work. It will still have the same amount of power because it is you that holds the power. Okay. So this is the second part of a 3-part training. In our last training, we looked at igniting the passion within. So I was asking you to have a look at what things excited you, made you curious as you were younger, as you grew up. Where did you find joy? When did you feel free? And what can you actually do to bring some of those things into your life now? Adding someone extra to the Zoom. There we go. So today we're going to be looking at making it time to be your turn. So some of the work that I'm going to ask you to do is a bit, it's not negative, but it's not exactly the most positive work either. So it is a bit shadowy. It's not too much because I'm not there with you, supporting you on a one-to-one basis. It is a bit shadowy. So just be aware. Again, like I said yesterday, if there's anything that we are doing that makes you feel uncomfortable or you don't want to participate in, skip it, go and do something else, watch the rest of the training at another time. That's absolutely fine. Please take care of yourself. So if you feel that you are getting overwhelmed, go and do something else. If you need to ground, go and do that. Your self-care and your magical care is your responsibility. And I think that's all I need to say about that. So let's begin. For those of you that don't know me, hello, my name is Gemma and I run Secrets of Arwen, and it is my job to help you discover your destiny, take control of your life so that you can live in alignment with your soul purpose and what you are here to do. You will find that I'm looking here, which is Zoom, here, which is the camera, and here, which is Facebook. So you're just going to have to get used to that. I do like to look at myself quite a lot, so I'll probably be looking like this at Zoom so that I can see what's going on. Before we begin, take a nice deep breath and take that time, take a moment, take a minute to get yourself ready for magical practice in whatever way feels right for you. If you looked at your email today, you will have seen that I suggested it might be useful to bring a pen, a journal, some cards, crystals, candles, whatever it is that you feel you need with you. So take that time now to light your candle if you choose, to draw a card as an intention or as a guide or as an extra piece of information for the session that we are going to do today. If you've got a particular crystal that you want to just connect with for a few seconds, then do that. Whatever it is that feels right for you, a breathing exercise, a very quick short meditation, whatever it is that feels right. I will breathe because I've been rushing. So I've been like trying to get everything sorted and ready. So I'm in that kind of high energy moment and I just need to take a moment to chill myself. And as we go through today's work, please continue getting yourselves ready if you need to. As we go through today's work, you may find that you can't answer the questions or do the work in the time that we've got this evening. And which is why I've spread out the 3 trainings over a number of days so that there is plenty of time for you to really get into the work, look at the guidebook, go deep and answer the questions in your own time. So today I'll be talking you through what I would like you to be doing. And in the next day or so, you've got the time then to actually go a little bit deeper into the work that you've got so that you are ready and prepared for what we're going to do in our final training session. So yes, you've got the next couple of days to complete anything that you haven't had a chance to complete yet. Okay, so let's begin. We're going to start today by rating your life from 1 to 10 on a scale of 1 to 10. So I've given you in the guide a lovely wheel, which I've divided into all the different sections for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 different sections. And your first job is to write the different aspects of life around the edge. And they are money and finances. And you can shorten these if you need to. So if you know that you're focusing on money and not necessarily your finances and how you handle them, then you can just put money. So around the edge of the circle that's in your guide, if you don't have the guide to hand, draw a circle, or you can literally just write them as a list and then rate them 1 to 10 next to each other. So around the edge of the circle, money and finances. Work, career and studies. Health and fitness. I will go over these again, don't worry. Recreation and fun, or you could put hobbies or something like that. Your environment. I'm sitting just right with the mirror behind me to give me horns. Yes, there we go. So where did I get to? Yeah, environment. So your home, your garden. 1, 2, 3, 4. Allotment, if that's part of your environment. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 6 is your social life and friendships. Family relationships. Love and partnerships. Personal growth or spirituality. And finally, self-care and love. Love for the self. Okay, so just to recap, around the edge of your circle, you should have now written money, work, health, fun or hobbies, home and garden, friendships or social life, family relationships, love and partnership, personal growth, and spirituality. No, personal growth and spirituality, and then finally self-care and self-love, sorry. Okay, so you've got 10 categories. And what I would like you to do is just have a think about where you would rate those different aspects of your life. So 1 to 10, 1 being terrible, non-existent, doesn't work, it's not great, and 10 being absolutely fantastic, could not be any better. Okay, so if your finances are in and you're rating them 10 out of 10, that means it could not get any better. You've got everything you need, money, financially, all of that stuff is sorted and everything is amazing. If you are rating your health and fitness as a 1, if you're rating your health and fitness as a 1, I would say you are extremely close to dying. So be really realistic. Yeah, if 1 is absolutely terrible, then you are death's door. Okay, if 10 is amazing, you are an athlete. So be realistic with yourself, be honest with yourself, and try to focus on what is true right now. Okay, not what you wish was true, not I'm going to focus on it next year, so therefore by the end of next year it'll be great. What is true right now for you? So rate the different areas of your life, 1 to 10, 10 being amazing, 1 being terrible. And if you've got the wheel from the guide, you can colour it in so that you can see very clearly how balanced or imbalanced your wheel is. And if you are simply rating it, then obviously you can just 1 to 10 each one, and then you'll be able to see again quite clearly what's good and what's not. So I will just give you a minute or two to do that. Let me know when you've done it. Give me a yes in the comments or a done or something like that, so I know where we all are. If you are following along on Facebook, again, just give me a yes or a done in the comments. That would be great. Perfect. And again, you may just be going on your first instinct right now, and that's absolutely fine. You may want to have another look at it tomorrow and see whether or not your ratings were realistic, and whether sometimes we can think that things are worse than they are. A lot of the time we can think things are worse than where you actually are. So if you've put home as a 0 or a 1, then it means that you are literally living on the streets. You're not living with somebody else. You're not sharing a home with somebody it's not your home. If you're a 1 or a 0, then it really is the worst that it can get. Okay, so try and be really clear on what that would mean for you. So focus on what is true right now. Be really honest with yourself, even and especially if you don't particularly like how your wheel is looking. And so now that you've all completed that, and I think most of you have, fantastic. So let's have a moment to reflect. Before we move on to the next page, I want to ask, I want you to take a moment and ask yourself, the following questions. So number 1, and indicate this somewhere somehow on your wheel. So you can write the word time, effort, energy, or if you've listed them, then put a star next to them, however it's going to work for you. Where do I spend most of my time? So within which aspect of my life am I spending most of my time? So am I spending most of my time at work, or thinking about work, or doing work at home, or something else like that? Am I spending most of my time with my family? Am I spending most of my time on my personal growth? You may find that there's a couple that you want to highlight. So where are you spending most of your time? And where are you spending most of your energy? That's different. You can spend lots of hours at work, but not use up very much energy at all doing that. You can spend a lot of your energy focusing on one particular thing. So particularly think about the different types of energy. So emotional energy, mental energy. Where do you spend most of your time thinking about or worrying about? If you're constantly worrying about your health all of the time, you're spending a lot of your energy there, whether it's positively or negatively. Okay, so you can be negatively spending a lot of your energy worrying about your health, but it's not actually helping you to do that. Okay, so where do you spend most of your energy? Is it positive energy or is it negative worrying energy? And into which aspect of your life do you put the most effort? Okay, so where are you trying the hardest? In what aspect of your life are you really trying? Whether or not it's getting you anywhere, whether or not it's working, where are you putting most of your effort? Okay. And then finally, is that what you want it to be? So if we're home all the time but worrying about health, then I would put most of my energy is spent in health, yes, in a negative way, but most of your time is spent at home. Yeah. So is this what you want it to be? So if you have noticed that, let's say, I'm just going to pick on anyone here. If you've noticed that your partnership with your partner or with someone that you love is less than 5 out of 10, but you are not spending any of your effort or time or energy in that aspect of your life, is that how you want it to be? Do you want it to be 9 out of 10 without having to put any effort in? If you're focusing on your health and your health is below 5, again, are you actually spending positive energy, positive time and effort in that particular area? Or do you just want it to magically be okay without having to put time, effort and energy into it? Okay, moving on. So that's your wheel. In which of the different aspects of life do you spend your most time, effort and energy? We've talked about that. Is that reflective of how you've rated your life? So if you are spending lots of effort in your job, is that paying off? Are you happy in your job? If you're spending lots of effort in your putting into your home and your garden, are you happy with your home and garden? Are they a 7, 8 or 9 on your 1 to 10 scale? So is it reflective? Is your spending, is it reflective of where you've rated those particular aspects of your life? And the next bit is probably something that you will need to go away and have a think about. So what has surprised you about doing this? Often people will find that actually when they've looked at things in the grand scheme of all of their life, one particular area isn't doing as well as they thought it was. Or perhaps they've recognized that actually they're not spending any time, effort or energy in something that seemingly should be important to them. So what has surprised you about doing this particular activity? Are there any significant gaps that need addressing? Sometimes there are gaps in your wheel or there are imbalances in your wheel, but you can't address them right now, or they're not a priority right now and you're quite happy for them to be a bit rubbish for a while because you're focusing on something else. So are there significant gaps that need addressing now? And then which areas of life need to become a priority for you? And we talked a little bit about priorities in our last training, so you can go back and have a look at the priorities that you wrote down then and see if they marry up with what you have been exploring today. So you may find that you've got an answer popping into your head right now or a thought that's popping into your head. Get it down on paper so you don't forget it, or make a note of it wherever you are keeping notes of your trainings. And then you can have a look tomorrow or in the next couple of days to just go over that again and see if there's anything else that comes up for you. Okay, and if you would like to share, it would be lovely to know what your priorities are going to be, what gaps you have noticed, or anything that has surprised you whilst doing this. So if you feel like you are happy to share, just pop in the comments something that you've discovered that you didn't or hadn't really noticed before, or something that you now realize, oh, need to focus on that a little bit more. So if you feel comfortable to share, just pop that in the comments for me. And we're going to move on a little bit. And this is the bit that I've said already is a little bit shadowy. So it is a question that I ask with my clients that I'm working on their, particularly on their shadow work with them. We go a bit deeper into that kind of stuff than we're going to do tonight. Again, if you're finding that this is too difficult, you don't want to address it right now, don't skip it, go and make a cup of tea, come back. And remember that you are in charge of your own well-being. Okay, so I'm posing the question, what is important to you that you have ignored? And what I mean by that is, what things do you pretend are really important to you, but for whatever reason, you can't find the time or the effort or the energy to do those things? I'm going to give you a very sort of surface level example. One of the things within my vision for my future, and we'll get onto a little bit of that in a little while, one of my things is I want to have a yoga practice that I do every day, or at least every week. I'd like to be able to get up in the morning and do my little yoga routine and then get on with my day, or do it in the evening, something. I want to be able to find the time to do that. However, I've been saying for a year that it's something that I want to do, but I haven't done it. And the reason I haven't done it is because it's not actually as important to me as I want it to be, or as important as I'm making it. Okay, but it is one of those things that I've said I've wanted to do and I'm not doing it. That's a very surface level example. If I go back a little bit in time, I would have said that the thing that I ignored was my spiritual growth and spiritual development. I just want to look at my notes very quickly. Yeah. So what is important to you that you have ignored? For a long time, the answer was my spiritual development. And it was something that I was so desperate to achieve, to work on, to do. At the end of every year, I was extremely frustrated and annoyed with myself that I hadn't done it. And I had just ignored it, even though it's something that was deeply important to me. So what are the things that are important to you that you've been saying that you'll do for a while and you have not done them? Okay, what are the things that are important to you and you have not done them? And you can have a look at your wheel as well, which will give you a little bit of a hint. So are you saying that your family is really important to you, but you're not really putting the effort in to make those connections with your family? The same with your health. You go on and on about how important it is for you to get fit or eat better or improve your health or whatever it is, but you're not actually doing it. What have I got here? I used to be so frustrated with my lack of spiritual growth. And so once I'd realized that actually we've had like 3 years of me moaning that I'm not getting any better, but I'm not actually doing anything about it, I finally decided, okay, well, this is something that I do need to focus on, because if I don't, I'm not going to achieve it. I made it more of a priority, and I found ways to make myself see it as more important. Okay. So what are the things that are important to you that you have ignored? Think about all those things you've promised yourself that you would do, but you haven't done. And then of these things, which are you most annoyed with yourself about? Which are you most annoyed with yourself about? And you may have realized that it is too late to do anything about that now. And if it is, how do you feel about that? A lot of the time, our frustration is misplaced grief, and we grieve the thing that we couldn't do. We grieve the thing we didn't become. We grieve the missed opportunities. And if it's too late, we need to accept that that is a missed opportunity, and we need to refocus in a different way. So you may never become an astronaut. It might be too late for you to now start your journey to become an astronaut. But what are you doing in your life that makes that missed opportunity okay. Okay, I'm not an astronaut. It's too late for me to ever become one, but I have found this in my life and this is my priority. Or I took astronomer's course and I now can, name the constellations and I can point them out and I track the planets as they move and all of those kind of things. So if it is too late, what can you say about your life that makes missing that opportunity okay? And if it's not too late, if you're still able to become an astronaut or you're still able to achieve this thing, why haven't you? Why haven't you started? And like I say, this may be something that you want to come back to later on today or tomorrow in the next couple of days. So as you're going through and you're thinking about all of the things that you haven't done, I want you to pick one thing and I want you to go a little bit deeper with it. So why haven't you done it yet? And instead of blaming other people, turn that focus from external to internal. Okay, I haven't done yoga because I don't have time in the morning because I've got to get my son ready for school. It's not his fault that I don't have time. It's nothing to do with him. I haven't done my yoga because I don't have time in the morning. I could get up earlier though. So why don't I have time in the morning? Because I can't get out of bed early enough. Why can't I get out of bed early enough? Because I'm staying up too late the night before. Why am I staying up too late the night before? Because I'm scrolling on TikTok and not going to sleep. Why am I doing that? Because I am wasting my time. Whatever it is, this is the next part of the journey. And the next part is the but why. So every time you write the sentence or you think the thing, why don't I do it? But why am I doing that? But why is that true? But why is that the case? Okay, and you keep going until you hit the thing that makes the difference, the thing that makes you go, oh, didn't notice it was that. Okay, so in my yoga example, I'm staying up too late at night. Yeah, okay. Why am I doing that? Because I'm scrolling on social media. Why am I scrolling on social media? And the reason actually probably is because I am lonely. Because I put my child to bed and then I go downstairs and I sit by myself and it's very quiet. I'm not sad about it. I like being on my own. But I do find that if I've got other people around, I'm more motivated to do the things that I want to do. So the reason why I am scrolling on social media is because I don't want to watch telly, because I know that that is a waste of my time. But it is because I am lonely. And so having the noise from something to watch takes me away from that. So what could I have done about it? Why didn't you? And what has that meant for you? So what has it meant for me? Firstly, I'm not doing any yoga. I'm certainly not any fitter than I was at the start of this year. It has meant that I am not having that adrenaline rush of, yes, I'm doing the thing that I actually want to do. Okay, this is what I want my life to look like. And I may not be fully there, but I can definitely tick that box that that's the thing that I'm doing every day or every week or whatever it is. So I'm not having that. What could I have done about it? I could have messaged a friend and said, I'm going to do yoga every night. Do you want to do Zoom yoga and we'll do it together? Or I could have timetabled it in my phone, or I could have, found a yoga app that I could be looking at instead of looking at TikTok. All of these different things. So what could you have done about it? And why haven't you, or why didn't you do anything about it? And what has that meant for you? And then what are the consequences of that action or inaction? Just checking the comments on Facebook. You're right, it is never too late. Might be a little bit late to be an astronaut though. I'm not sure what their cutoff is in terms of fitness and age and things like that, but you never know. What are the consequences of your action or inaction? So what are the consequences for me not doing my yoga? Physically, I'm no fitter. Emotionally, I'm not having that feel-good feeling of doing the thing that I want to do. Mentally, yoga is very good at clearing the anxiety, and the stretching that you do helps you with your mental health, certainly. And spiritually, I'm no closer, because I know that yoga is a spiritual practice, and I am putting that blockage in place there. So what are the consequences? I'm not growing spiritually. I'm not having that time to clear my mind that I could be having. Emotionally, I'm not having that, yay, I'm doing the thing that I want to do. And physically, I'm not getting any fitter. So those are the consequences. And again, like I've said, it's a good idea to come back and have a look at this over the next couple of days. It is very uncomfortable, particularly because you are turning it on yourself. You're having a really good look at yourself and saying, I could have done this and I have chosen not to. And the choosing not to and the realization of why you have chosen not to should feel uncomfortable. It should feel like someone has just got a mirror and gone, are you actually looking at this? Are you taking notice? And that's what shadow work is all about. It's about recognizing the truly, truly truthful truth and noticing it and then doing something about it. Okay. And so we move on. I want to check my notes quickly. Talked about the astronaut. Okay. I went into the space at the age of 80, so it could still be possible. I could still do it. Probably not if I don't do my yoga and get fit though. Okay, so what are you doing that makes your missed opportunity okay? So right now you may be caring for or serving for somebody else. You may have little time for yourself. How can you make that okay? How can you make your lack of funds okay? How can you make your lack of time okay? How can you actually just take a moment to say, I should have done that and I haven't, and now I'm going to. So think about the consequences of not having done the thing. What are the things that you are missing out on from not having done this thing? And so we're moving on. So I think we're currently on page number 8. And so how will you benefit from facing this? Okay, what can you now do to make sure that you don't allow these obstacles to get in the way? And I've already started to talk about that a little bit. So what could I do? I could find a yoga app. I could find an accountability partner to do it with. I've said to my mum, I will go to yoga with her because she does Pilates or something. So there are things that I can do. What can I do, or what can you now do to make sure that you don't allow these obstacles to get in the way? And looking back at your priorities, at your areas of life, at your aspects of your wheel, how can you prioritize yourself, your wants and your journey every month, every week, every day, however often it is that you want to be able to say, yes, I'm doing this, and I'm doing this for me, and I'm doing this for the love in my life. I'm doing this for building my relationships with my family. I'm doing this to improve my environment. Whatever it is, how can you prioritize yourself and your journey every month, week, day? Okay. And with shadow work, I always like to, I don't like to sort of end it on a thing of, this is all rubbish. Look at how you've wasted all of this time and effort and energy. We're going to turn it around. This isn't an opportunity to just beat yourself up about all of the stuff you haven't done. This is a chance to face the truth, your truth, and rewrite that truth. So my truth is, I'm not doing yoga because I'm scrolling too much on TikTok. So I need to face that, and I need to allow myself to scroll a little bit, and then I need to also do my yoga. So how am I going to do that? I'm going to timetable it into my phone. I'm going to find someone to do it with. I'm going to find a really good app. I'm going to make it a joint activity that me and my son do together. My son loves yoga. He does fairy tale yoga on YouTube. I should be doing that with him. There are lots of easy things that I can do to remedy this, okay? So I'm not beating myself up about it. There's no point moaning about all the time I have not done it. I need to recognize this is why I'm not doing it, and this is my chance to change it, okay? I'm facing that. I'm doing this thing. I'm purposely putting this obstacle in my own path, and now I'm going to remove it, okay? And so we're going to take a nice deep breath. And we're going to move on. And instead of wallowing in the past, we're now going to look forwards and into the future. So we're currently on page 9 of your guide. And we're talking about the vision. So what are you working towards? If you could have, be, or do anything, what would that look like for you? What would that feel like for you? What would be present in your life? What would be there that currently isn't there? So think about things like, I would have security, I would have a loving partner, I would have financial security, I would have time to do my hobbies, whatever it is. Okay, so what would be there? What would be present? And what would be gone? I would no longer procrastinate. I would let go of the resentment. I would be able to deal with the grief. I would be able to let go of this negative feeling. And I'm going to leave you to do this for yourselves for a moment. And you can make notes as you are doing it, if you need to. I want you to close your eyes if you wish. Start thinking about what that vision looks like. See it, feel it, and try to experience what that would be. So if you could have, if you could be, or if you could do anything. If you want to, you can create your cave around you, like we did in our last training. If you didn't join us for our last training, you can simply do that now. So create a cave around you with you looking into the cave. That is your safe space. Find yourself somewhere to sit. And if you like, you can invite the future self to come and sit with you. Or you can just imagine from where you are exactly what that vision is, what that life is going to look like. Go back to thinking about your priorities. What would your home look like? What would your work life look like? What would your relationships with friends, family, partners look like? And I'm just going to mute myself for a couple of minutes so that you can just have time to sit in that vision. Okay. From where you are, just take that time to come back to this room. So if you are in your cave, head back to the entrance of the cave. knowing that when you step over that threshold, you will be stepping back into this body and back into this room. And once you are back, give your fingers and your toes a wiggle so that you are settled back in your body. Any notes that you need to write, take a moment to write them now. And what was your vision like? So if you could have, if you could be, if you could do anything, what does that look like for you? How are you spending your day? What are the things that you are doing? What is present in your life? And what is now gone from your life? And I want you to start being really specific about what it is that you want and what this vision actually looks like for you. It's not enough to just say, I want a partner, because the universe will just throw any old partner your way. And then it's up to you to know which one is the right one. So you need to be more specific than that. I want someone who drives me forwards. I want someone who is an equal partner in the team. I want someone who will keep me on my toes. I want someone that motivates me. I want someone that cares for me. Whatever it is, be specific. I want somewhere to live. Again, not specific enough. Okay, so if you are sharing someone else's house, you have somewhere to live. So what specifically do you want? I want to be able to own my own home or rent my own place. I want a house that I can afford. It must have a garden. Be specific about what this vision looks like for you. And over the next couple of days, take that time to be really specific about your vision. Because in our next training, you're going to be making a deal. You're going to be manifesting this vision with the universe as a team, or the gods, or the higher power, or whatever label you want to put on, whatever your beliefs are of who it is that supports and guides you and nudges you along the way. You're going to be making the promise, the commitment with them that you will both be working on this vision together to make it happen. So that's what we're going to be doing in our final training. So you need to know what it is you're asking for. Okay. And I always give the example of if you're shopping. So if you say, I'm going to use the universe as an example, universe, I need a new top. And you go into the shop, or you go out into the world, and the universe gives you hundreds of different tops in which to choose from. But none of them are quite right because you haven't been specific enough. You just said a top. Okay, but if you say, I want a black and white top, I want it to be a cropped top, so not too long, I want it long sleeved, and I want a V-neck, then the universe will try and put as many things that match that criteria in front of you. So you may come across tops that are mostly white with some black. You may come across some that are cropped, but they've got cropped sleeves, and you can see much more easily what it is that you want. So if you walk into Next and you say, right, I need a top, there are too many tops there to choose from. If you know that you're going for a black and white top, you can easily pick out which ones are black and white and which ones aren't. Okay, it's easier to find the thing that you want if you know what it is that you're looking for. So be really specific on what it is that you're going to be focusing on. Work with your priorities for the next year. We looked at this a little bit in the last training. So what are you looking for? What are you prioritizing? Look at the aspects of your life and think about which bits you want to focus on and what that end goal looks like. So if your priority is your health, you want to improve your health, what does that look like for you? What does that feel like? What is present in your life? Lots of lovely, healthy foods that nourish you and make you feel full. And what is gone? The lethargy or the cough, there we go, that's my example, or the cough has gone, or whatever it is. So what is present, what is no longer present, what is it that you're asking for? Okay, be really specific in what you're doing, because you're going to need it for our next training. Is there anything else that I need to talk about? Coming right up to the end of time. I'm going to stay for Q&A if anybody's got any questions. Anybody wants to type into the comments any questions, things that they want to ask, please do that. Check here. That seems good. Excellent. Okay, now, before I finish for the evening, I would like to say, please make sure that you do some grounding work. If you've lit a candle, please, I forgot to say this in the last session. If you have lit a candle, please make sure that you either blow it out or put it out before you leave the room. If you need to ground, please do so. You can do this by going outside, putting your hands and your feet on the earth. You can eat something, drink something, pat your body, shake off the excess energy if you have any. Whatever it is that you feel that you need to do to ground, please do that. If you have a closing ritual, if you have something that you do at the end of magical practice, again, please do that. And take some time over the next couple of days to just go over the last couple of trainings and the guides to make sure that you are doing the work and that you are ready for what we're going to do in the next session. Is there anything else I need? No. So I think that's everything I wanted to say. I can't see any questions in Zoom. I can't see anything in Facebook either, which is good. And so I'm going to end it there. Thank you very much for joining me this evening. I hope to see you very soon in our next training, where we will be creating that pact with the higher powers to manifest exactly what it is you want. I look forward to seeing you then. Thank you very much for joining, and I will see you very soon.